I'm gonna try to fix this grill. I think it's part of it's a grill that's on an old antique. I think it's a pickup truck. Anyway, it's the mechanic at my job is restoring an old pickup truck, and he is not much for welding and whatnot, so he does body work, but anyway, he asked me if I could find a way to get these studs replaced. There's one right there, one here, two more on the other end. They're just 1/4 20 SAE studs, and I bought some bolts. There's little 1/4 20 bolts, 3/4 inch long. What I am going to try to do is get these. I can't really get a picture of what the studs are like, I don't think. The back side of them. Maybe I can if we could look underneath this tab that stud is on. I might be able to see kind of a rounded flange area there that's probably tack welded on or spot welded on a little bit to the back side of that little flange that it's on, and that flange is spot welded on two sides. What I'm going to do here on at least one of these and see how well that works for me is to, since these are spot welded on, these things here, you see those 2 points there, and there's two more down here. Anyway, I'm going to grind. I'm not going to start on this one because that one's up in the air. I'm going to start on this one because this one is firmly clamped onto the vise. I'm going to grind the end of that stud down flush until I start touching this area around here, and then I'm going to drill that nut or that those threads out of there, drill right through. Hopefully, it's what I'm planning on doing, drilling a hole through that, and then I'm going to take. I'll grind that down with this grinder here. With that, it's almost about 3/16, I guess, thick grinding wheel on it, nice square edge. Grind that down flush. Then we'll take this cutoff wheel. It's thin, like 1/16 of an inch thick. Take that and then just slice through this right here very carefully, or try to, and then I'll heat this up over here and then lift this thing up high enough to just put one of these bolts in from underneath, and then just tack the corners a couple of tacks, 2 or 3 tacks on that to kind of weld that on so it doesn't spin while he's trying to put a nut on the other side. So let's see how that works out. Okay, I got that first one ground down flush. Now I'm going to take a center punch, and I don't have the camera set up on a tripod at the moment. I might do a second one that way. Put the center punch in there so that my drill will stay on target while I'm starting my cut with the drill. There's my center punch mark. Now I'll have to drill the hole. Got the hole drilled. My drill did walk away from the center just a little bit, maybe a 30-second or so over to the left, farther than I wanted to be, but I don't think it's going to hurt us any. My cutoff tool is not going to fit down in here without hitting the sides of this, so I think I am going to have to cut this corner off with a torch, I guess. I don't have anything else that'll fit in there. Well, I made my cut. Now I'm going to heat up the other side of it here a little bit, and then lift that tab up so I can put a bolt in there. Okay, I got that lifted up. Now I got to get a bolt through that and then tack that on. Sorry I didn't have it on camera. I got to get a bolt through that hole from underneath and then tack it on just a little bit so that it'll stay put. Now I just lifted it up a little bit more with the pliers and I can see that it is pretty rusty underneath there, so I'm going to grind that down a little bit so that I have a clean surface to weld to. It's going to be too much trouble for me to get an electric welder over here where I'm working at, so I'm going to go on ahead and do it with a torch since it's just a very small weld. And try to get I got the camera sitting on a tripod now, or on actually a boom. And I'm using coat hanger wire. Now I'm going to fill this gap right here. Actually, I got to turn this torch down a little bit, it's too hot. It was set about right for welding on that bolt because that was a lot thicker, but this is a lot thinner here, so That popping what I'm trying to avoid, but when you got the torch turned down this low, it's hard to avoid that. Oh well, got one done, I hope. Now I got it cooled down, took it outside and sprinkled a little water on it slowly. I'm going to grind it down flat. Well, not sure I can get in there with the grinder, but let's see if I can. I think I can a little bit, very carefully. I think we did okay. Beats trying to find this part new somewhere. I don't know how old the vehicle is. I think it's like a 1951 or something. Well, I got to do 3 more. I'm trying something a little different on this corner, since I still can't get in there with the cutting wheel. I just took the grinder, the 4-inch grinder, and I ground the corner. Since that came to a pretty sharp corner, I ground that down until I start seeing a line showing up in the center of it, and I'm going to come back with the welding torch and heat up that line. It'll probably just melt away instantly, and then I'll go ahead and heat this side up and raise it up like I did on the other end. Okay, when that cools, I'm going to grind that down flat again. And the other end, I ran into a little trouble. The bolt was kind of hitting this corner over here, and I went on and did it anyway, but this one I grounded down to make room for that. I ground the top of the bolt head down. Got my bolt in there. Got the corner ground off. Got it situated in about the position I think it needs to be for that corner I ground off to be fitting in this corner here. And while that was cooling down a while ago, I went on and drilled this hole out here and cut a slit in there with that cutoff tool. So now I'm going to get the torch lit up and raise this one up and bring this one down, and then get ready to start welding this top here back onto that. I forgot to weld that nut or that bolt on the back side of that, and before I folded that thing over, and anyway, I just welded it underneath. I was able to get my torch underneath there and weld it from underneath, at least on one side, which should be plenty good enough. And now I'm going to weld this one down. Got it all done. I hope he's happy with it. I'm sure he will be if it fits good. Put all four of them in there and weld it back down. He had already sandblasted it. I guess he'll sandblast it again and then paint it. Alright, thanks for watching.